It can't be that bad. It's potato. It's potato. Cheers.
On this chapter of my Don't Starve Cookbook series, we are going to cover one of the most well-rounded and pungent dishes in the entire game, Creamy Potato Puree. These well-dressed mashed potatoes restore a respectable 20 health, 37.5 hunger, and 33 sanity. They have a fast eating speed, take 20 seconds to cook with a standard crockpot, have a priority of 20, and when fully fresh, take 15 whole days to rot. Creamy Potato Puree is classified as a veggie food, and therefore Wigfrid cannot partake in its goodness. Fans of the single-player version of Don't Starve unfortunately also share the same fate, however, as Creamy Potato Puree is a Don't Starve Together exclusive dish. So how do we make this creamy and potatoey dish? Well, Creamy Potato Puree requires at least 2 potatoes, 1 garlic, and a filler that can be anything besides inedibles, meats, or fish. The best recipe being 2 potatoes, 1 garlic, and 1 ice. Both potatoes and garlic are farm crops, but luckily they both grow nearly year-round. Potatoes like autumn, winter, and spring, and are generally super easy to keep happy. Garlic also enjoys autumn, winter, and spring, and is somewhat easy to keep happy. Garlic benefits potato plants thanks to them providing the manure nutrient, which is the one nutrient that potatoes eat. However, care must be taken to keep the garlic happy. You see, garlic is incredibly hungry for compost, too hungry for potatoes to keep them fed. So what's a good way to grow both potatoes and garlic together? Well, I'll be honest, it was super hard to find a good third companion plant, but I finally found one, the onion. This veggie eats 8 growth formula and provides 4 compost and manure, making it perfect to be introduced to our Creamy Potato Puree factory. The only issue is that onions do not like winter, meaning that you will be limited to enjoying the best harvest during autumn and spring with no real input. On screen now is the best farm layout for these 3 plants, and if anyone else knows a better way to plant garlic and potatoes together, please leave it in the comments down below. By the way, onions are also capable of being a filler for Creamy Potato Puree, so that's an added bonus to this trio farm. As I stated before, Creamy Potato Puree is one of the most well-rounded dishes in the game. It provides a nearly identical health, hunger, and sanity bonus, very similar to jerky. It even has a decent spoilage time. But you know what Creamy Potato Puree isn't? A meat item. This makes it one of the absolute best caving dishes in the entire game, as bunnymen won't aggressively chase you for 7 gazillion miles just for having the stuff on you. Some depth worms beat you up? Creamy Potato Puree is here to save the day with its 20 health bonus. Lost in the ruins and getting a wee bit peckish? Creamy Potato Puree is here to save the day again with its 37.5 hunger. Going absolutely bonkers thanks to the constant sanity drain of the caves? Never fear, Creamy Potato... Dude, I cannot keep saying creamy, bro. We really gotta move on from this chapter. You know what? Let's go ahead and just skip to the lore segment. You all know how good this dish could be by now. So, this might be a massive shocker, but Don't Starve Together did not invent Creamy Potato Puree. Or, should I say, mashed potatoes. Now, mashed potatoes are probably one of the most popular food items in real life ever. Seriously, this dish can be as simple as taking some boiled potatoes and mashing them in a bowl, or as complex as the French pomme duchesse, which adds egg yolks and requires specific post-mash preparation. But where exactly could this miraculous dish have originated? After my extensive potato-based research, the earliest recipe for mashed potatoes I could find came from Hannah Glass's cookbook titled The Art of Cookery, which was published way back in 1747. That's like a long time ago. Although I'm almost certain that as long as humanity has been cultivating and consuming the potato, we have been mashing them. I mean, come on, you basically make mashed potatoes in your mouth when you eat a regular roasted, boiled, or fried potato. I'm sure that someone back then thought it would be a good idea to just get the mashing over with so that consuming the savory root of goodness would be easier. But alas, humanity wasn't very good at not destroying itself back then, so there's not written proof of it. When you make mashed potatoes in real life, you generally want to use what's known as a mealy potato. These are potatoes with a higher starch content that makes them much heartier and allows them to mash well. These include the famous russet potato, which is the potato I will be using in today's recreation. You can use waxy potatoes, which have a lower starch content, to make mashed potatoes, like the Yukon Gold potato, but that will result in a chewier texture which may not be pleasant to most people. Luckily, this feature isn't a part of Don't Starve, as we just have the one and only potato to cook with. There's not all these crazy different versions that we have to worry about. Speaking of cooking, I think you know what time it is. That's right, it's time for me to ask you to smash that like button and subscribe if you aren't already, if you are enjoying this video so far. Guys, the amount of support I've received on this series has been insane, and it's so awesome to see people wanting more. And trust me, I want to get into the insane recipes, but unfortunately those will take much more setup and funding, especially tall Scotch eggs, which will probably cost me a pretty penny. But it's going to happen. When I said I want to cover every dish in the game, I meant it. This series will continue until Don't Starve as an IP is officially abandoned by Clay. Even if we run out of recipes, I will be lurking through every update, watching and waiting for another crockpot recipe to be added. Luckily, we are a long way away from that, however, but man, I'm just so excited to actually be doing a series that's this in-depth. Alright, look, I don't want to keep you guys from the video too much longer, but before we move to the cooking segment, since you made it this far into the video, be sure to comment a lotus emoji. It's time to cook. So first, let's talk about our recipe. So in Don't Starve, you must use 2 potatoes and 1 garlic, so that's a given. And for our filler, I decide to go with another potato, because I'm honestly quite hungry. And I know despite not liking garlic that much, that there's no possible way that this dish could go wrong. I mean, it's literally just mashed potatoes. A few extra ingredients that I added that are not included as our 4 main are salt, chili powder, pepper, and an eensy-teensy amount of butter. I wanted to make sure not to add too much butter, since if I added too much, I would feel wrong not making it our 4th ingredient. We start with our potatoes. Any good mashed potato dish starts with a perfectly boiled potato. Since this dish won't take me that long to prepare, I can actually share some of my cooking secrets with you guys. Now, I'm no cooking expert. In fact, I can straight up make some abominations sometimes. But if there's one thing I know as an Irishman, it's how to properly boil a potato. What's the secret? Always add your potatoes to cold water first and then bring them to a boil. I cannot tell you how much of a difference this will make. You see, if you dump your potatoes into already boiling water, they will cook too fast on the outside while not cooking enough on the inside, leading to gross, mushy, but crunchy potatoes. Seriously guys, this is the key to a good potato every single time. You may have noticed during my little rant there that I actually began peeling the garlic. And another thing I love about starting this series is that I'm working with ingredients I never actually have before. You see, I'm not a huge garlic fan, so I never really had a reason to go out and buy a bulb of garlic. But here I am now, preparing one. And I gotta say, they're kinda satisfying. No smell yet, but I'm sure that will change when I crush them. Alright, now our potatoes are done, and because I don't have any good mixing bowls, I'm just gonna make our creamy potato puree in the pot. Because why not? First, let's get this garlic into the pot. So a method to extracting the garlicky goodness is apparently cracking it with the side of your knife. Oh yeah, that worked. And holy moly dude, that smells. I mean, I knew garlic was smelly, but fresh garlic hits completely different. It's not even like a bad smell, it's just really strong. Also, as a side note, does anybody know how to get the smell of garlic off your fingers? Asking for a friend, I swear. I decide to add half the clove and then realize that I kind of want this dish to be edible, so I stop and save the rest for later. Yes, I know, if I wanted to be lore accurate, then I should have used the whole clove, but I'm actually super hungry, and this is basically my dinner for the night, so yeah. Trust me on this though, the garlic was still very strong, despite there just being half a clove in there. Now it's time to mash it all together, and wow, look at me go. Now I had a comment asking me about this, but yeah, personally I like to leave my potato skins on while mashing. I know most people prefer their potatoes naked, but I like to give mine a little dignity. Oh wow, it's that time already? Okay, it's taste testing time. Let's do this.
Okay, now it's time for the taste test, and honestly, I'm not that excited about this one, because I'm not a huge fan of garlic. Alright, so bear with me there, I'm not an absolutely huge fan of garlic. However, I am a fan of potatoes. So there's that. yeah, let's just, oh yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be in the thumbnail. Again, if it is, then you guys have already seen it. If not, here's the grand reveal. Creamy Potato Puree. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of how this one looks. It doesn't look exactly like, you know, the image. I tried to shape it up a little bit, you know, do a little bit of that, so you can at least see a little bit of it. Now, I left the skin on. In the actual picture, it looks like they didn't leave the skin on, but I like my potato skins on, so no reason to waste a perfectly good potato skin. Alright, I'm not excited about this one. I know it already smells like garlic to me, but you know what? It can't be that bad. It's potato. It's potato. Cheers. You know what? I actually like that. Now, yes, the garlic is strong, and it kind of got a little kick to it, but the garlic and the potato mix so well together. I'm actually glad I didn't add the whole clove. Look, I don't know how they do it in Don't Starve. If they add the whole clove, that's crazy, but I don't, and I'm glad I didn't because that made this edible. But you know what? It's pretty good. It is pretty darn good. I'd say like a 6 out of 10. It's edible. I like it, but it just doesn't have like it's not great. Like it's not something I would make again. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish it. I do enjoy it.
Did you just watch an entire video based on mashed potatoes? Yes, you did. But the real question is, did you enjoy it? That's what's truly important, and I personally really hope you did enjoy it. Speaking of enjoyment, YouTube thinks you would enjoy this video, so you should check it out and see if they are right. This has been Polarlotus, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.